It's not that easy to tell people what you want. But if you don't make a decision, you're just going to make it worse. And this is why so many neurodivergent folks don't have close relationships. It's because we don't make decisions. We let the decisions be made for us. When it comes to expressing what we dislike, we really only have two options. You either reject them now or resent them later. And neither seems ideal. If you reject them, you risk hurting their feelings. And if you don't, you start resenting them. For many of us neurodivergent folks, the choice is not simple to do either or. We'd rather just run away from the decision because we're overthinking it. We're not sure what the good choice is. We're not sure how to help everybody. If this was an easy decision, people pleasing wouldn't be a problem in our community. But while the choice is binary, the thinking behind making the decision will change how quickly you decide. Today, I want to talk about why this decision feels so overwhelming and why saying no can trigger shame instead of relief, how resentment burns underneath even when you think you're being generous, and I'll share some language that you can use to reject people while still supporting them. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear understanding of why rejecting them now will help you stop resenting them so that you can build a real connection. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast, the podcast for late identified autistic adults who want real relationships without fake masks. Let's talk connection, clarity, and showing up as your authentic self. Now, if you were AuDHD, chances are you had learned early that being yourself came with consequences. If you're different in any kind of way, shape, or form, you learned that being different came with consequences. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive and you need to suck it up, change. You thought too deeply or read into things that no one else considered, change that. And don't get me started about how your deep thinking was labeled as misreading. Something like, they didn't intend for you to feel bad and it's your fault that you took it the wrong way. Ugh. But on the other hand, you were probably celebrated and praised for how much you helped. You probably learned to be useful and get some of that delicious praise. Fast forward to being an adult. Now you have this baked in belief that your value comes from how much you can contribute to a person's life. And if you don't do those things, you will be rejected, ostracized, blamed, disregarded. Ugh. So you want to avoid the pain. Totally makes sense. So you're going to probably do as much as you can to help so you can get that good dopamine that comes from making people happy with you instead of getting that pain of rejection. Makes perfect sense. No shame here. And that belief and the need for a dopamine hit shows up when someone you want to keep in your life asks you for a favor or wants support. Doesn't matter if you feel drained or disinterested, it's worth it. So you do it. And you get that good dopamine, you avoid rejection, and you're looking good. So, the next time comes around. When they ask you, you might be more tired this time. But if you are, your brain is going to offer up resistance. It's going to say, hey, not so fast. I've got some questions for you. Are you really that tired? Don't you think you're being unkind? You better help your friend. You know what happens if you don't? If you don't help them, you're going to lose this relationship. People only like you for what you do, so you better do something. And instead of saying no or honoring yourself, rejecting them, you ignore all feelings of tiredness and annoyance and focus on making sure you appear helpful so that you don't lose the relationship. And it's not because you have a deep desire to help, but it's because you're ashamed and afraid to refuse. If you do this, it's a quick road to burnout. It's going to burn you out and it's going to burn up your relationship. Now, to them, it's going to look like you're being generous. Hell, even to yourself, you might think, hey, I'm so awesome. I'm so good at friendships. Look at how much I give up. And don't get me wrong. It's good to help, but to a certain degree. What degree, you ask? I'm going to make this simple. The line to draw is when you are mentally, physically, or emotionally unable to handle doing the task. And this can be tricky too, because you don't know when you are unable until you are absolutely spent. And always you're just absolutely spent, because that belief that you have to show up or else you're worthless is going to power you through it, help you power through it. It's like, I have to do this or I'm going to lose this. And the threat of losing the relationship, the belief that you will lose a relationship without helping, is going to motivate you to push through it and to stuff your feelings and to not even feel anything. It's like, yeah, I'm tired. I only got 2 hours of sleep, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this because my relationship will disappear if I can't. And I'd rather be suffering through this 2 hours of sleep so that I can keep this relationship. I can't be alone again. You can't be alone again. And so I get it. You're neurodivergent, you're overthinker, overdoer. That belief is very, very strong. And if you've lived it for decades, if you've seen this for decades, then what else could there possibly be? You can't even imagine. This is why we get stuck here. There's a certainty, there's a belief that we know will happen if we refuse, if we reject. The relationship is going to end, and you absolutely do not want that. They're going to be mad at you, and you absolutely do not want that. So you help even though you're tired. You show up even though you'd rather be anywhere else. You go above and beyond your limits for the sake of contributing to a, quote, healthy relationship. That right there, this idea that if you reject, is the belief that we need to examine today. Are you ready? What if I told you you're actually sowing seeds of resentment that will eventually destroy your relationship? Every time you say yes when you mean no, it's there. It's in you. All of your goodwill means nothing if it's driven by shame and fear of rejection. You see, underneath, you constantly pushing past your discomfort and exhaustion, 3 important things are happening. 1, you are teaching the other person that access to you does not change when you're overwhelmed. In other words, you're teaching them how you want to be treated. You are saying, I have no limits. Use me as much as you can. And they do. They believe you. 2, you are wreaking havoc on your nervous system. You're holding in your real feelings so that they can live inside of your body, creating headaches, muscle aches, and cortisol from stress. 3, you are abandoning yourself. You're communicating to yourself that your deepest thoughts, feelings, and ideals do not matter. This is bad. And it happens every time. But you only realize the damage you've done to yourself and the relationship over time. And when that person takes advantage of you, you have a headache, and you're not feeling well, and they're not caring about your feelings, you're going to think, oh man, you don't care about me because I put so much effort into this relationship. Well, you taught them not to. You taught them that it doesn't matter if you're overwhelmed, you're going to show up anyway. Why wouldn't they trust and believe in that? You're holding in your real pain. You don't tell them that you're too tired. You've got headaches and muscle aches and you're stressed out. You don't tell them. You keep it to yourself. You abandon yourself and you say your feelings don't matter, but the man that they want, that they care about your feelings, you have to care about your feelings first. This is how relationships are destroyed, with this resentment. So let's do a little visual. Think about this. Every time you agree to do something that doesn't feel right for the fear of shame and rejection, a 5-pound stone appears in your hand. It becomes yours. Consider it a gift from the universe. Now, you can only do one of two things with this gift. You can, 1, describe it and share what you see with your friend. After you do so, the stone disappears. Or 2, you can say nothing about this gift, put it in your backpack, and carry it for the rest of your relationship. What will you do? Well, if you're driven by fear or shame, you're going to shut up. You're going to carry that. You're going to put that in your backpack. I want you to think about what you are carrying now. That last time you agreed to a long phone call when you were already exhausted, there's 5 pounds. That time you rearranged your schedule to avoid disappointing them, there's another 5. And all the times you said yes, immediately wished you hadn't, there's more. So if you're doing the math, we're up to 15 pounds right now, carried wherever you go. And you might be like, that's not a big deal. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and picked up a 10-pound bag of potatoes? Imagine walking around the store with that. It's going to slow you down. You're not going to feel well, but you're still not going to say anything, because at this point, even if you are really feeling it, you still have that persistent belief that if you say the wrong thing or if you reject them, they're going to leave. And that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Here's the thing. It's not. It's not the worst thing that could probably happen. You could have a nice conversation with them, and they might be willing to help and support you. But right now, they have no idea. So this is going to continue. The next time they see you, they're going to add another stone. Maybe even 2 if you don't take action now. If you don't have the language to set limits, it's likely you'll let that resentment become so heavy that you blow up about how heavy it is, and then you slowly withdraw or ghost. That's reactive. You have to be proactive about this relationship if you want to save it. If you reject instead of letting it build, you can preserve the relationship without sacrificing yourself. It's getting heavy, and you have to let them know. Let's make this concrete with a real demo of what you can say. Let's say your friend asks you to pick them up from the airport at 4 a.m. Your first reaction is dread. Ugh. You know you will be dysregulated all day. You know it will cost you more than you can give. And this is where the spiral starts. They'll think I don't care. They'll feel rejected. I should be able to do this. So you say yes. And as predicted, you show up tired, irritable, and resentful. They sense the tension, but they don't know why. They don't see what you're carrying. You feel unseen. Well, you've never mentioned that you're carrying this Jansport with 65 pounds in it. They feel confused. They really have no idea how much you're suffering. Instead of going through that, let's imagine a different response. You can say something as simple as, I can't do a 4 a.m. pickup. I can help you arrange a ride, though. Same care, different capacity. The idea here is that you say no to what you cannot do and yes to what you can do. You don't have to do exactly what they ask you to do, but if it is your desire to help them achieve their goal, then you can present a different kind of support. Instead of picking them up, you arrange a ride. Here's another example. Instead of a long phone call when you're already exhausted, say, I can't right now. Can we catch up tomorrow or later in the week? Here's one more. Instead of rearranging your schedule to avoid disappointing them, tell them that your schedule was locked, but you're happy to find some time in the next few weeks. Again, the idea is saying no to what you cannot do because it will ruin your relationship. You will be resentful. You will be angry. You will be frustrated. But if you do want to help them and get that good dopamine hit, then pick something that you can do that will not drain you, that will not exhaust you. See, here's the truth. Rejection is not the problem. Rejection is not harmful. Having limits does not make you bad, wrong, or unlovable. The only people who are threatened by your limits are the ones who benefit from you having none. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a friendship to me. They don't care about how much you're carrying. They don't care about how stressed you are. They are happy to add more weight to your backpack. If you want such a friendship, then you will never say no. You will teach them that you are to be used, that your feelings don't matter. Believe it for yourself. Your feelings do matter. Healthy relationships respect your capacity, your commitment, and your energy levels. They see you. And as a bonus, notice when someone reacts badly to when you say no. This is information to how they want to treat you. Saying no, not right now, sorry I can't, are great filters for relationships. Practice saying no and see who you filter out of your life. And if you want help dealing with a specific challenge, come to one of our events. We have Unmasked conversations on Saturdays. At this event, a few of your peers ask me relationship questions, and I give actionable steps and scripts to help them take the next clear step. Join, ask a question, or you don't have to ask a question to attend. You can simply be in a space and learn from listening to how I support people with the same challenges. Space is limited to just 10 people, so go to parentsofpossibility.com/events to get your spot, and you can check out the other events that are happening weekly. All right, let's wrap this up. If you've heard something today that has helped you see yourself in relationships a little differently, then I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave a comment here, or you can reach me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you could take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe, it really helps more people find these conversations and join our growing community. And speaking of community, if you're looking for a space where you can express yourself and be met with curiosity rather than rejection as a late diagnosed autistic adult, then come visit thepatternsofpossibility.com and find your community there. Learn more about what we're doing. We're connecting with others. You can be yourself and authenticity in this space. Find other people who've had your experiences, who know what you're going through, so you don't have to do this alone. Until next time, take care of your energy, and remember that connection starts when you allow yourself to be seen.